Now, it's time for Spotlight on Business, where every week we put the spotlight on a different local business so you can find out how they serve you and the community. Now from Michiana's Morning News, it's Laura Smith.
Welcome to the Merchant Alliance Show. I'm Laura Smith. This is the program that explores and learns all about what's happening in downtown Elkhart, Indiana, the city with a heart. And indeed, the heart of many cities throughout our country is their parks and recreation. And we have someone here who is the superintendent of the City of Elkhart Parks and Rec, Jamison Czarnecki. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I've only gotten to learn about Elkhart Parks and Rec just in the last couple of years that I've lived here. But you know what? We have so much going on. It's hard almost to keep track of all of it. And I commend you guys because you really take advantage of all the beautiful spaces that are in downtown Elkhart. But considering it's a city, so to speak, there really are just so many parks and so many beautiful places, and they've expanded with the whole river district and everything. So tell us what's happening with Parks and Rec. What are the newer things that are going on, and what are some traditional beautiful things that you continue to do year after year that people just love?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I think it's interesting that a lot of people don't realize that we've got 35 community parks in the city of Elkhart. We have 50 park properties, 3 aquatic facilities, 2 skate parks, ADA kayak launches. We've got basically something for everyone going on in Elkhart, which is an awesome opportunity. I think the challenging part for our team is the maintenance and upkeep is always a challenge for any park agency, but the activation and the programs and the events that you do in a park. I would argue that a park is only as good as the activities and people that are going on within it for a city park. And for us, we see our role as the health and wellness for the city, but also as economic drivers for quality of life improvement. And it's a fun gig to have, and there's a lot going on.
There is. I was at McNaughton Park recently to see the Elkhart Municipal Band. I had never been to that park next to the hospital. And what a beautiful night that was. First of all, the band is just world class. It was so good.
Yeah.
And the weather was beautiful and the park was beautiful. And I thought this is really the heart of communities and what keeps them so vibrant. And I just loved every minute of it and have vowed now I'm going to be going back for more. But you said there's 35 parks.
Yeah. And McNaughton Park is one of our oldest ones, 1910. It was donated by John McNaughton forever as a park. So it's been very well used and loved.
I remember my parents talking about it when they were, they would talk about in high school, they would go there.
Yep.
So that was
soapbox derbies, Chautauqua's back in the early 1900s. I mean, it's been a community hub for a long time, and it's just one of many. And we have several in the downtown area. Probably the most amount of our parks are in the downtown area.
Okay. So give us some of the other ones that we may not all be totally familiar with right off the top of our heads, but I'd love to hear.
Everyone knows Island Park, I think. It's the heart of the city. It was named originally Island Park. It's a park. It's an island, obviously, but it's one of our oldest parks. It was given by the Beardsley family who founded Elkhart. And the Native Americans at the time, legend says that that was the island where they said it was in the shape of an elk's heart, and that's where the name derives. And so, that's a popular one for a lot of people. High Dive Park is another one downtown in the area. That used to have a 30-foot high dive that people would jump off of, and that was the swimming pool for the city for 20 years until the 70s when we built Pier Moran Pool. But there's High Dive Park, there's Island Park, there's Studebaker Park, which is one of our largest. Walker Park on the east side is a wonderful opportunity for walking and exercising. And so we have some new ones that are popping up. Central Park is a newer property.
Is that
I guess in the last 4 years.
Yeah. Is that the green?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they
right
call
by
that
the plaza.
Central Park.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, so
Got it.
I hear Central Park and I think something
a little different. Yeah. Central Park is an amazing park. I've been there and wonderfully, well put, of course. But Central Green is technically the official name because it's a downtown green space. But we've got the Riverwalk. We've got the Nibco Ice and Water Park down there. There's rollerblading and roller skating in the summer, and ice skating, of course, in the winter. The Riverwalk is beautiful. You can take that and basically go off-road on a trail for a couple miles in the downtown area, which is fantastic.
I have not done that yet, and I want to do it so badly because one of the things that I do miss when I moved here is that I used to walk everywhere in New York. You just walk everywhere, whether you're in Manhattan or in one of the outer boroughs or whatever, you walk everywhere. And so when I came here, my whole philosophy for myself was I'm going to find a place close enough to downtown Elkhart that I can walk there. But with minus sidewalks that take me all the way from my house into the downtown area, I don't know how to really do it. So I was asking people lately, like, where can I go to get really good exercise in, like a good couple of miles a day? And everyone said, well, the Riverwalk. I have yet to do it, so I have to learn it. How long is the actual path?
It's a great question. I want to say that our actual path, if you were to take, so we call it the sort of the Emerald Belt is what it would be, sort of like. But you can go from High Dive Park to Island Park to Lundquist Park, Lundquist over to behind the Aquatic Center. Aquatic Center takes it all the way up the path and goes through the downtown area, Nibco, there's Brass Elk Brewery, and then continues on through on the other side of Johnson. And that's the only part is you have to cross Johnson, which we're working on. But after that, you can take that Riverwalk to American Park. American Park, you can do some side streets and go to Studebaker Park. Studebaker Park, there's a path called the River Greenway Trail that we got a grant and paved it through Next Level Trails a few years ago. But that's a wonderful opportunity to take it off to a paved trail right next to the river all the way to Studebaker to Elkhart Environmental Center. And then you can pop on to the Maple Heart next to Sterling Avenue and take that to the Pumpkin Vine. So almost completely off-road.
Wow.
Bikeability, scootering, walking. It's a fantastic gem that people really don't realize.
I need to know all about this. So how long is that? Like if you do all of those, how many miles is that? You
could probably squeak, with the Pumpkin Vine alone, I think you're at 30 miles by that point.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely tremendous. And like you said, a lot of these parks I hadn't heard of and I don't know about, but that's because I'm new here.
Sure.
So most people do know about it. And is there anywhere that you can like find a map or something where you can learn where to walk?
Yeah, you can go to our website, City of Elkhart, Parks and Rec. You can just Google that, or elkhartindiana.org/parks. But we have a map there. Most of our parks we're working on having addresses for, so you should be able to pop up, parks in Elkhart and they'll populate. But there's a lot of momentum with our parks. We've been focusing in on the deferred maintenance side of it, and we've updated in the last 5 years 85% of our parks.
Wow.
Parks playgrounds, I should say.
Oh, the playgrounds themselves.
Yeah. And we've done, of course, the parks as well, but that was needed, and we put in exercise equipment along the Riverwalk, and so we want people to get out. We want to activate. There's a truth to it that if you invest in a park, people will come to use it. If you have good equipment, if you have good programs, if you have good events going on, that's when people are there. And when people are there, the bad people are not there as much, right? And so people have in the past had perceptions about parks as unsafe spaces sometimes, and I'm really proud to say that our city has been working hard in making sure that these spaces are safe, whether we're patrolling with rangers or community police officers. But really, it's the activation and the upkeep of the park that brings people out.
Well, I'm really happy to hear about that because I was wondering, okay, now that I've found out that there's almost 30 some miles of all these trails, is it safe to walk alone as a female?
I think what we see is a lot of the perception of safety. I think genuinely, yes, people are safe to walk, especially females who are alone. Now, are they always comfortable? No, they're not always comfortable, and we recognize that. We try to have a presence as much as we can. I think, for a lot of people, they're surprised that Island Park feels as comfortable because there was a time when it didn't feel comfortable. There was a time when, you'd go to High Dive Park and there was trash everywhere, and you'd see a few guys drinking beer cans at the picnic table and smoking their cigarettes, and it just creates this perception of unsafe activity. Mm-hmm. And so we've been really excited that this has been getting better. We still have an unhoused population within Elkhart, of course, and I think sometimes we get a perception that doesn't feel comfortable. And the truth is that you can't kick people out for being people. But if they're doing activities that are illegal, if their stuff's everywhere, if they're sleeping on the park bench, etc., we try to get on top of that. And that is a problem for every agency across the United States right now. Mm-hmm. But overall, I would say that we do have a lot of safe components within the city of Elkhart, and that people can absolutely feel safe through our parks.
That is good to know. I haven't been to Island Park, but I've heard so much about it. There's concerts and things going on there.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is. Again, I am the last person.
Sure.
Actually, I'm the first person that should be doing this interview with you because I am sort of newish to the area, even though I was born in Elkhart General Hospital. But
Okay.
it took me, like 50 years to get back here.
Welcome back.
So, yeah, thank you. But I'm excited to discover all these. I think that may be.
Have you ever heard of Yakida Brewery?
Yes.
Right across the street from Yakida, basically, there's a bridge called the Sycamore Street Bridge. It'll take you right into Island Park. There's an 18-hole disc golf course there now. There's a brand new multi-platform inclusive playground, high capacity, but that is also where we do a lot of events like Rap City Arts and Music Fest. We had 26,000 people come through there in mid-June for that.
Just in June.
Yeah, just for that festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a wonderful asset, as many parks are for communities.
That is incredible. And that makes, because I did often see that little footbridge there and wonder, where does it go to?
Okay, yep.
And now I know.
Yeah.
All thanks to Jamison Czarnecki. He is the superintendent of the City of Elkhart Parks and Recreation, here to enlighten us all. It's so interesting. It's like when you live somewhere, you often don't know everything the place has to offer because you take it for granted. I don't think I've ever been up in the Statue of Liberty the 42 years that I lived in New York. Those are things that happen. But I vow, now that I'm back here, I'm going to get to know my beautiful Parks and Rec in downtown Elkhart, because I'm at that point in my life where I really do appreciate these things so much more and taking the time to really learn about them more. So we're going to come back and I want to hear more about the different events, the events that you've had that have been so successful, the ones coming up that we can look forward to, and all of that and more, because this is the Merchant Alliance Show, everything about downtown Elkhart. And if you have any questions yourself and you want to know the best places to eat and go shopping and maybe even walk through the park, you can go to dodowntownelkhart.com. I'm Laura Smith. We'll be right back.
Podcasts by Federated Media.